I started spatchcocking chickens about 10 years before I ever heard the term spatchcock. Um, and it's just because it takes too long to roast a whole chicken to do it on a weeknight. And this greatly speeds up the process of cooking a whole bird. Um, I started out by using a serrated knife, and then I tried heavy kitchen scissors, and I finally invested in a pair of really high quality poultry shears, which makes this so much easier. All it means to spatchcock a chicken is this. You cut out the backbone, just like so. Cut along that side. And you see how easily this goes through there. And there we go. Now I'll turn it around so it's on my right hand again. And trim that out of there. Now, if you have all the time and patience in the world and don't mind having your kitchen tied up for an entire day, you can save this backbone, which makes great chicken stock. But I just don't like to make it, so away it goes. Okay, now let's get rid of some of the debris here. Just open it up, and there's more debris. We'll get that out of there. There. And now what I like to do is dry the chicken inside. By the way, this is quite a good chicken. I don't know if it's strictly speaking organic, but the brand is called Just Bear Chicken, so it's free range and vegetarian fed and all that stuff. And it's a very good chicken. And if you can make this with those 98-cent pound fryers if you want. And I have. And we're not going to disrespect anybody who doesn't have all the money in the world to spend. But if you can spend a little more on a better chicken, it's totally worth it. I'm going to get rid of some of these bones that are sticking out. There we go. Now, there's another couple of steps here. You see all this extra skin and extra fat in here? We have no use for that. So we're going to clear out as much of that stuff as we can. Beautiful. There we go. And now cut through this. This tool isn't the best thing for cutting through the skin, but you can kind of saw through it without too much trouble. There we go. Now, all the debris is pretty much gone. There's a little extra fat. Get rid of that too. The next part of it is to, yeah, you hear that bone breaking there. You want to flatten it out to the extent you can. And you just do it by pushing down good and hard there. Maybe breaking that a little bit, the breastbone. And pretty good. And again, I like to dry this part of it. Everything cooks better if it's not sopping wet. So there we are. Got rid of that. Now, I have here a little blend of rosemary, a little bit of ground sage, kosher salt, black pepper. I know some cooks don't like to put salt on chicken before it's cooked, but I don't think it really dries it out. There's only about a half teaspoon in there, and it adds some flavor. So there are many different spice packages that I use. This is an old favorite: rosemary, ground sage, salt, black pepper, and sweet paprika. And what I'm going to do here is, I'm done with this so I can get it out of here, is open the skin up a little bit. So I can start over here on the breast. Get it like that. Just open this up. A little bit of fat to get out. You don't need that. It's fun to watch. And just get my finger in there and open that up. And by the way, while I'm doing this, the oven is heating up to 400 degrees in my oven. Yours might take 425 probably. But I'll talk about that more in the text part of this recipe, which, of course, as always, is posted at streamywrites.blogspot.com. So you can see I'm just getting that in there, moving it around, and between the skin and the muscle, quite a bit. Okay, and now I'm going to work on the leg and thigh, and the same thing. You get your finger under that skin, get it in there, open it up a little bit. It's not the end of the world if you tear it. I first ran across this type of recipe where you treat the chicken this way in Richard Olney's book from the 80s, I think it was, called Simple French Cooking. And he stuffed it with sort of a cream cheese herb blend. And I did that a few times. And then I thought, I don't really need all this cheese in here, and just started doing it this way. And lo and behold, like 15 years after that, everybody and his brother is talking about spatchcocking chickens. So, here we go. Let's get it in here. Just as far down as you can get it. Make a nice flavorful chicken. Got a little on the outside, which is great. Turn this over. Sprinkle it some of it in there. Spread it around. If anything's left, turn this over. Yeah, there's a little left here, so we'll go on the outside of it. And then just before I put it in the oven, and I'm going to cook this in a cast iron pan. It'll take in my oven, it'll take about 40 minutes at 400 degrees on convection, and it's cooked perfectly. The last oven I had, which is also quite a good stove, not quite as good as this one, was 425 at 50 minutes on convection. So you'll have to experiment a little, and I would say keep an eye on your oven and be checking this bird at about 40 minutes, regardless of the nature of your oven. It's going to be the cast iron pan that I'm going to cook this in is in the oven right now, heating up. And so when I put this bird in there, I won't have heat loss when I put it back in the oven. And the last thing I'll do before I put it in is just spread a little olive oil on this and brush it around, and it will be ready to go.